Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Diane. Well, this is our last video this week, and just because it's our last video doesn't mean that you can't still send me messages on Class Dojo or Facebook so that we can still share things, even though we won't see each other again until next fall, hopefully when it's safe for us to come back to school. All right, so I was talking to my son, Carter, and I was asking him, what should I do for the last video? And guess what he said? He said, I have to go out with a bang, which means he wants me to do something extra special. So boys and girls, what better way to do something special than to remind you of how safe, kind, and responsible you were all year long? Because there were so many things that you did that really, really made me proud of how you acted in the classroom. And next year, when you come back to my room or when you go on to kindergarten, I want you to remember those things, because it's important for us to be good to others. And the best way we can be good to others and to have a good time is to be safe, kind, and responsible in the classroom. Okay, so we will start with Miss Katie, who was our classroom aide. All right, all the wonderful things she did. Do you remember when she brought in those bunnies? Oh, you loved holding and petting them. And she brushed your teeth with you every day after we ate breakfast. And she would call you over during free play and do special projects with you and show you projects that you could paint on the easel. Didn't that inspire you? Give you ideas that you could do when you painted? I loved that about Miss Katie. All right, one thing that I loved teasing Miss Katie about was all her pets. Do you remember how many pets she had at her house? She had like 26 pets, I think. And we used to sing a song. So we're going to sing that song to Miss Katie. Instead of Old MacDonald, guess what it is? Old Miss Katie had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I'm sure Miss Katie loves that one. All right, so she was super kind by sharing all of her pets and all of her great ideas with us. All right, now we're on to Miss Brittany, our teacher aide. What were some wonderful things she did? Did she run circle time with you and have fun playing games with you before you went to lunch? She did. She did. And then she would always make sure she had the iPad and the camera, and she would get pictures of you and videos of you, and then she would show them to you. All right, one of Miss Brittany's favorite things was to get lots of steps in. She never sat down. We would have to make her sit down. So remember when she would go in the gym or the playground with you? What would she do? She'd run around with you. She would chase you and have so much fun with you. Wasn't that kind of her? It was. All right, so we need to give them a Head Start hero cheer. So let's do that. How about we do something messy? How about the Oreo? Ready? Lick, lick, Oreo! They are Head Start heroes. Okay, we're gonna move on to Abby and Anna. Abby, I loved how you knew when Miss Diane forgot that timer during free play. You would run over and you wouldn't run. You would actually use your walking feet. You did a good job of that. You would go over to the orange timer, the orange 10-minute timer, and you'd say, Miss Diane, you forgot to set the timer. And then you would turn it over for us. And that way, when my friends knew it was time to leave choice time to go to another center, they would be able to look at the timer and see that. So that was very responsible of you. All right, Anna, you played so wonderful. And whenever I would see you playing, it was normally at dramatic play. You had so much fun playing with that monkey. But you know what I loved about you playing at dramatic play? You were so gentle with how you handled all of the toys that were over there. And anytime you were playing either by yourself or with someone else, and one of the little kiddos would come over and they would want to join you, you would let them, and you would talk to them, and you would let them do a job that would involve them in your dramatic play. That's what I loved. That was so kind. All right, so let's give a cheer for Abby and Anna. Let's do uno, dos, tres. Uno, dos, tres. Ole, 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 ole. Nice job, girls. All right, we are on to Bentley and Blaze. Bentley, I loved that you would share all of your stories about what you would do at wrestling with us. And other children would listen, and you would teach them what you had to do to get into a special wrestling move. But you're always safe, which I really liked about that. And I think it's really kind that you would share what you know with other people. And what I also liked is that when we would ask you to tell us about your tournaments, you would always get that smile on your face. You were so proud, because that tells us that you are listening to your coaches. Nice job. Okay, Blaze, this year you learned how to use your words, and that made me so proud of you. You're one of the youngest ones in the room, but I think it made you feel better to know that if you used your words, it was easier for others to know how you were either feeling or if you needed help. Do you remember when we would go to the gym and you would always want me to pick you up and play and sing you that song? And you would come over and you would tell me. All right, I'll sing it to you today. It's a farmer's life for me. It's a farmer's life for me. Dee, 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 dee. It's a farmer's life for me. I think that was as fun for me as it was for you. All right, so we're gonna do a cowboy cheer for Bentley and Blaze. Ready? Get your lasso ready. Yee-haw! All right, now we're moving on to Braden and Ethan. Braden, I loved how kind it was of you to share your smile with our classroom. It didn't matter if you were sitting at circle time or if you were playing with a friend in the library or at Music and Movement. You would always be smiling and making people feel happy because you were happy. And that's a special gift. So thank you for doing that. All right, Ethan, do you know what I loved? I loved how this year you learned to be safe by sitting body calm at carpet. Do you know how important that is? It makes other people feel safe when we're sitting at carpet. So you learning to do that made me so proud of you, and it probably helped you to enjoy all those wonderful stories that we listened to this year. So I am proud of you for being safe. So we need a cheer for Braden and Ethan. Let me see here. All right, get your spray bottle ready. Psht, psht, psht. You're fantastic. All right, so now Gracie and Isabella. Gracie, you were very responsible this year because you got glasses this year, and not only did they look beautiful on you, but you were very careful about how you set them down if you needed to set them down to wipe your eyes, or if you were playing, you made sure you weren't too rough so that you took really good care of those glasses. And that's not an easy thing to do, but I was proud of you. Plus, Miss Katie would have you come over to the paint easel all the time, and you would paint beautiful pictures of people holding hands or a house. And we loved hanging those up in our classroom because they made the classroom look so nice. Thank you for sharing. All right, Isabella. Isabella Boo Boo, guess what I love about you? Isabella, you were one of the youngest ones in the room, but do you know what you did that was very responsible and kind? You shared how you felt with your words all the time. So if you were excited, everyone knew because you would be jumping around and you'd be so excited you would make us laugh and happy too. But sometimes if you were sad or if you were mad, instead of keeping it inside, you told people how you felt so that we could try to help make it better. And I loved that because it helped other people learn they had to use their words if they wanted to be understood. Okay, so we need to do a cheer for Gracie and Isabella. All right, we're gonna do Kiss Your Brain. Ready? Kiss your brain. Okay, the next person we are gonna talk about is Jade. Jade, it doesn't matter if you were at the library or at the art center. Whenever anybody would come over and want to join you, you would say, sure. And you loved having friends, and you would play so nicely with them, and you would laugh and giggle with them. So that was pretty special. But I also liked how at the Arts and Crafts Center, you would make projects for your mom and your dad and your sissy, and you would take them home, but you would clean up all of your project materials that you used, and that was responsible. Okay, now Laurel. Laurel, I loved how creative you were with your games. You taught other people how to play games at Music and Movement, and you would let them join in. And I think that that is really kind of you to share all your creative thoughts and ideas with other people. And by the end of the year, you know what I really like? You let other people tell you their ideas to make it even better, and you would use those. And that's super kind. So Jade and Laurel need a cheer. All right, we're gonna do a Dance Fever one. Ready? Get your disco finger ready. Ah, 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 you did a good job. You did a good job. Okay, now we have Michaela and Morgan. Michaela, I loved how at Music and Movement, you chose safe and fun ways to use dancing moves. You inspired other people to have fun with dancing, and you are such a good dancer. You keep doing that because it's music and moving our bodies that make us feel good at times. All right, the next person I want to talk about is Morgan. Morgan, I loved how you are so close to your twin sister, but you loved getting to know other people this year too. You loved playing with Jade and with Brayden, and whenever you would play, you two, you three would actually finish cleaning up, and then you would go to another center and you would play so nicely together and have a good time. And you were one of the first people that would always share the Play-Doh when there were so many people at the Play-Doh table. So thank you for doing that. All right, so we need to do a cheer for Michaela and Morgan. All right, we're gonna do a silent cheer for Michaela and Morgan. Ready? Get your hands up. Nice job. Okay, we have Nolan and Nolan. We have Nolan with an A and we have Nolan with a Y. All right, Nolan with an A in his name. Nolan, you played so well this year with people at Dramatic Play and at the block area. Sometimes I would go over to you at the block area and you had been there for like the entire choice time, and you would be playing with Bentley or Reagan or anybody that was over there, and you would be building with them. The one time you built the parking garage, and then at Dramatic Play, you would have really good ideas on what you were pretending to be. So sometimes you would pretend that you were fixing the table. So I loved how you played so responsibly with other people. And it's really kind to do that because everybody has a good time when that happens. All right, Nolan with a Y. All right, Nolan with a Y has a Y in his name. That's why we call him Nolan with a Y. So Nolan, I loved how this year you were so frustrated when you couldn't hold on to the pencil, but this year you learned to hold on to a pencil and to draw and to write your name. And that is gonna make you feel so good when you know how to do that next year in kindergarten. But the other thing I love and remember about you is whenever we always had the trains set out at block area, you could always build the bridge that was so hard for people to build, and you could figure it out. So thank you for sharing all your ideas with people so that they could figure out how to do things with help from their friends. Okay. All right, so we need to do a cheer for Nolan and Nolan. All right, so let's do the parrot one. Okay, ready? Squawk! You did a good job! All right, so now we have our last three names. We have Reagan, Riley, and the other Riley. Okay, Reagan, we're gonna start with. Reagan, you were one of the oldest children in the room, and it didn't matter if it was one of your friends that was your age or someone that was a little younger. You always helped them at mealtime, during choice time, during small group. You not only got your work done and was very creative with your work, but you showed other people how to do things. And that is being kind, it's being safe, and it's being responsible, all wrapped up in one. And the other thing I love that I'm going to really miss is that you laughed at all my silly, silly jokes. So Reagan, thank you for being such a good role model for all your friends because you showed them how to be a good friend. All right, the next one is Riley. Riley with an H after the R joined us a little later in the year. But Riley, do you know what I loved about you? You played so well at the dollhouse with another friend all the time. It could be me, sometimes Anna, sometimes Gracie, but you played so nicely. You loved the dollhouse. But when we would go to small group and do a project, I loved how you would do your project and you would do it very nicely and you would follow directions and your projects turned out so pretty. And that's going to be really important, is to follow those directions next year. So that's super responsible. And I'm proud of you for that. Okay, Riley with an H at the end of her name is Morgan's twin. And Riley, you had a great relationship with Morgan, but I loved how you had a good relationship with Reagan too. You two would hold hands walking in the hall. So you are a good friend. And I will miss watching you sort all of your toys. Sometimes you would play alone, and that's okay. You would sort your horses and your cows, and it was so super neat because as soon as you were done, you would pick up and you would move on to the next thing. No one would have to tell you to clean up. That's really responsible. All right, boys and girls, we need to cheer for all of Reagan, Riley, and Riley. So let's do the awesome one where we spell it. Ready? AWESOME. Awesome, awesome, awesome are you. All right, and let's sing our Head Start Hero song to end because we're at the end of our video. We are Head Start heroes every day at school. We are Head Start heroes because we're really cool. With the be safe here and a be kind there. Be responsible everywhere. We are Head Start heroes every day at school. Bye-bye. I love you. Have a great summer.